Hi, welcome to the Stockinit Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as J-Knitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 137. I was just telling Amy that we said 137 last week, so we get to say 137 again this week. Because it was really 136 last week. Don't listen to a word that we say. Okay. The show notes are always right. Because
better, clearer head.
Yeah, and they have the internet at our fingertips whilst they are being made. So, how's it going?
Good. Good. Before I forget, I wanted to mention that I know some people have been using my, referral number for the Stitch Fix, but I haven't seen anybody posting about it. So if you used my referral number and you're excitedly receiving your packages, or maybe you didn't really like it, I want to hear from you. I want to hear, what happened. Did you like it? Did you hate it? I when I did it, I thought it's worth a shot. Got to give something different a try, and I did like it. And I have one scheduled for September. But I think once a quarter is good enough for me.
Spice things up per season.
Yep. Give it a little...
Apparently this is the spice things up movement.
Yeah.
Shoulder.
Give it a little something.
Yeah.
But, so I thought I might mention that here just to see if I can get some people telling me what they thought.
Yeah. Did you have any shenanigans in the last week? I didn't hear about any, but
I did.
We traveled down to Iowa. That's right.
Yeah, and met with the family. Got to swim in the apartment pool with some family members, and because one of them recently moved back to Ankeny, and it is at the apartment with the pool.
Ooh.
And what else? Kids had fun. We had acquired the car.
It was the first road trip.
Yeah, first road trip with the car, which was fun and uneventful.
Always a good thing.
Yes. Yeah.
We went
boring.
We went on a bike ride. A really, really long bike ride. We started trying to get the bike ride together a little before noon, and then finally got on the road around noon, and I was like, do you think we should feed the kids? Well, we ate a late breakfast, so I was figuring we would just bike up to Pine Island. This is my husband. And we'll eat at Subway there, and I'm thinking, Pine Island is like 20 miles from here, but okay, that'll be a fun ride. And we got up there pretty quick. I think we ate around 2 o'clock, which was okay because we ate a really late breakfast. But then it took us probably 50% longer, 60% longer to get back than it did to get there, because we've got little kids with little legs. Ellie's got gears, at least. Dexter just sits there and spins. And he's got a little tag along where it gets his front wheel off, and I kind of pulled him. There would be times where I would look back and his little legs weren't turning at all. He was just letting me do all of the pulling. And then Quentin sits in his seat and doesn't at all. But 40 miles is a really long way for my daughter to have biked all by herself, gears or not. That's a really long way. So we stopped at playgrounds, and it just, by the end, I think Dexter was delirious. We pulled up. We were back in Rochester, and there was a biker, and we're just kind of biking along. And it's like, oh, it's a beautiful day. So, I'm kind of chit-chatty. I don't know if you know that about me. I say that sarcastically. I would talk to a stick in the road. Anyway, and I have before. I'm talking, oh, it's beautiful. Yep, we just went up to Pine Island. And the guy, peels off. He's going away. And Dexter goes, 30 minutes and $1 bill. What are you talking about? I have no idea what my son was talking about. So now we just randomly say that in my house. If something, 30 minutes and $1.
say that he thought that was?
I don't know. I've asked him questions about him saying 30 minutes and a dollar bill, and it didn't. He just decided that was what he was going to say, and he said it. And the poor guy was probably thinking that my son was a pimp or something. I have no idea. I was just like, 30 minutes and a dollar bill. Okay. Is this like a massage thing or... anyway, yep, 30 minutes and a dollar bill. It was a long ride, but that was my shenanigans. Daughter had her birthday party and went to see Maleficent and enjoyed it. Summer birthdays are kind of hard because people are out of town. But had a few friends. They were older, a lot older than her. They were mentioning this fall that they were going to be turning 9, and she had just turned 8. So, but she's the youngest in her class, for sure. What else do we have going on? Now that we've got our giggles in, we've got a fingering KAL, a fingering weight yarn KAL going on. I am still in prime time knitting lots of fingering weight yarn mode. In fact, I don't think I've knit another weight this whole month. Maybe I have.
Yeah, my queue has been growing, and I want to cast on all the things, but there's still that tour de fleece thing going on, so I feel like wah.
Yeah,
every week this month.
It's gonna be okay. You'll have lots of very pretty spinning too.
Yes, eventually. I'm starting to ply 8 ounces right now, and it's, you know, not going well. The cat already chewed one ply, and I had to tie it, and I'm not happy. So now I have a giant blanket draped over the top of my wheel when I'm done spinning it, because like, I can't do anything. The plies go into the thing, and like, you know, like, I just have to cover it so she can't get to it.
A cat tarp.
Yeah, cat tarp.
What else? We were going to briefly talk about some Knitstalgia, and then I got a PM about a new Kickstarter for Color Me Happy Yarn that I was going to mention. I haven't gone out and looked at the contribution prizes or whatever, but it's the Stitches Please out on Instagram and Ravelry, and she has a podcast, and now the name is going to escape me. Do you remember it off the top of your head?
Nope. All I see is cute baby.
Yep.
You said Stitches Please, and I see cute baby.
Cute baby. Yep. Oh, and it was right on the tip of my tongue before I put myself on the spot to say it. Anyway, so I'll provide a link in the show notes for that if you're interested in getting an indie dyer started up. And we can jump into Knitstalgia if you'd like.
I was just wondering how she feels about being reduced to her daughter's mother. You know, like, that always hits you hard. And then that's your identity for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit more when they're babies.
Yeah, I suppose.
And I mean, like Ellie's friends, I'm Ellie's mom, right? But then I don't think people specifically think of my children when they think, maybe they do, when they think of me on Instagram. But the babies kind of, the babies.
They take over.
They steal that spotlight. Nobody's business. So my Knitstalgia was, sorry, Chazzy Mazzy.
Bye, Chaz.
His tail is all fixed up now.
Yeah.
He got his stitches out, and it's a little balder than the rest, but
yeah, so it looks a little odd. Sorry, honey.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a little short. My first garment was this. It's called Little Sister pullover, I believe. And it has a long and sorted tail. But basically, I bought this. I love this cotton. I knit this back in 2010. I'll tell you all of the details before I go into storytelling mode. I bought this back in 2010, And I really loved I love this cotton. I bought the yarn back in 2010 and I knit it in 2010 as well. And I decided instead of making I think I was making market bags at the time. I remember you coming into my office and we were talking about it because Amy was kind of shepherding me at that point in 2010. I was barely
and laughing at her giant balls.
Yes, of yarn from Joann's Sensations. And I decided I didn't want to make a market bag. It was too soft and too nice, so I was going to make my daughter Eleonora a top. And I found this pattern that was free on Ravelry, and I read through the instructions as a new knitter is wont to do, and I saw worsted, and so I went, oh, it's worsted. So I knit the 18-month size, I believe, with this worsted weight cotton, and got done with the yoke here and went, this is never gonna fit my daughter. Like in 2010 she would have been like 3, and I don't know why I was making I think I realized at the time that the 18-month was going to be, you know, that it was knitting up a little bigger than the pattern had said. But it ended up being the first top that I ever knit for myself. I went and bought a coordinating color to do in the mane, and then because I only had, I think I had 2 balls, I can't remember, it's out in my Ravelry projects. But then I went on to knit her own in the right size, but the error was that it called for a worsted, not the weight but the spin, right? Isn't there a worsted spun? Yeah. And it was in a different language, but anyway, I really liked the top. I don't wear it as much anymore. It's very A-line, and I think it looks kind of weird on me because I'm not very A-line. I'm kind of straight. I don't have the hip flare as much. But that is my Knitstalgia. This is the first garment that I ever knit, and it was the first thing that I knit for myself. Inadvertently. That was back in the day when I was trying to knit things for my children more than myself. Just looking at it, I see like I have a drop stitch. Or maybe that was where I swapped in the new color. But I've progressed a lot since I did this. Yep. And that is my Knitstalgia. And I was Knitstalgic about it. I pulled it out when I was going through my closet the other day, and I was like, this would make a good Knitstalgia.
Cool.
Yeah.
So my Knitstalgia, because Megan texted me and said, want to do that tonight?
We haven't done one of those in a while.
Yeah. I just pulled my Slanket. I forget the name of this pattern, so I'm not as prepared. We have the technology.
We do. What is the yarn?
It is Lana Grande from Cascade, I believe.
Is she related to Ariana Grande? It's her mom.
It's her mom, yeah. She totally makes yarn.
Now whenever I hear that song, I'm going to be like, her mom makes yarn. Stall. Yeah, well, I'm not stalling. I'm just laughing at my own little mental, like, oh, yeah.
I thought about bringing some other stuff, but I would have fewer things to say about them, so here we go. It is the Faeroe.
Faeroe.
Faeroe. And it is from the Rowan 42 magazine. I believe that is going to be a hard one to find. And I was Lana Grande, so I was not lying. It is Lana Grande from Cascade Yarns. I used 14 skeins, and this is a super bulky.
14 skeins of super bulky. Wow. When did you make it? I
made it in 2009 to 2010. It only took me 2 months or 6 weeks to get done. But it is a coat. I call it my Slanket because I'm not going to wear it outside. But you got your armhole Go to the other side.
Okay, yeah, but here, take our picture.
Don't screech. Like a carnival.
Yep. I had my picture taken in the Slanket.
Yeah. So what I decided to show you was, like the state that it was in my house was this one. I don't know if you can see all the pills. Megan can testify.
Yes.
They're
There
quite
are some sizable
yes,
filling going on there.
quite crazy. But what I decided to do before I came over was to take the bottom half and do the gleaner on it.
And that's a big difference.
Yeah. And actually picked up a few. I don't know if they're from your house. They're orange. They weren't orange before, so.
You did have a mishap bringing it in.
That's true, I did drop it. But the gleaner, I bought it a year ago on a yarn crawl.
Our yarn crawl, right?
I think, gosh, we were at Darn It anyway. Yeah, so it was our yarn crawl, and I used the biggest attachment, and I just got a big fluff ball off of this blanket.
Now, did you make the noise, or does the gleaner make that noise? Sorry.
It does make that noise.
Oh, fun. Oh, it does. Fun. I like it. I like it better now. It makes a noise. Friction.
I said, yes, see? But yeah, you can see that, it's working. It's getting it off of there. I've used it a few other times on some superwash lacy stuff, and they have 3 other attachments, so you can go down to a really fine. This is for the bigger things, and this is 100% wool, and it seemed to take it well. And I didn't do anything special for the basket weave sections. I just over everything, and you can tell quite a big difference, and it didn't take very much time at all. Oh, here are the other pieces. So you can go down to really fine. This is more like a sandpaper, and then this is a gridded sandpapery thing for the biggest weight. Yeah. And the other side's just a your regular standard lip brush. Just in case you wanted to use it for other things.
This is a good thing to mention in Knitstalgia, because that's how you keep your historic knits
looking nice. But it's a very cozy, wonderful blanket, and in the winter, I practically live in it. I might even have been known to make supper in it. It's so warm, and has the armholes, and I can just make it up like a coat. But I have never worn it outside, like as a coat. Maybe that's my challenge. But other people who made it, it's not the yarn that it called for, although it's very, it had the same gauge and was very similar. It was just cheaper. It was a lot cheaper. Because the Rowan yarn it called for was at least twice as much money. And when you need 14 balls of something, you're not going to be paying twice as much money. And then I think I even got an additional discount for buying the 14, anything over 10 balls or something. And, so yeah, it's looking very nice when it's like on this side. And not so nice on this side.
You've got half of your work done.
Yes. And again, I'll just lay it out on the floor and finish it some other time. But I haven't been getting much use out of it this summer yet. Goes into onto the blanket rack. It's like a quilt rack, but it doesn't have a quilt on it.
Yeah. Knitted slankets on it.
Yeah, it has knitted slankets on it. But again, I love the pattern. It was super quick, and I would totally do it again. And I've knit several patterns out of that book 42. It's one of my favorites. I don't have any other Rowan books, but I've tried.
It's the answer to the universe, right?
Yes, it is.
42?
Yes. It's very nice. Yeah, lots of ones. I had my Jedi. Was that there?
Your Jedi vest.
My Jedi vest. and just putting that on my pants made them very.
Oh, she's
Plus Chaz,
Yeah.
Okay.
That is that.
Fun with tools. Yes, that is my Knitstalgia. And again, it was a great knit, and I would knit it again.
Alternately called Knitrospective.
Yes,
I was
true.
misspeaking. Yeah. All right. On to finished objects. You said you had a blocking finished object.
Yes, that little girl sweater that I was testing got finished, and I am blocking it, and I thought that with the nicer weather I could stick it outside and it would dry up and be great, but it's not hot. It's just pleasant outside, and it was not working.
Seems drier though, because my hair, you can definitely tell the humidity levels by the fuzz factor.
Yeah.
So it's been a little drier.
Despite my best efforts, I did not bring it.
Okay.
So
I think I saw that was on Ravelry now. Like it was in my patterns that you might enjoy section. The sunspots.
Uh-oh. Did I miss my deadline? I thought that I had.
Maybe you should just put the Ravelry entry out there. Maybe it's not for sale.
Well, it was in July that it was due,
Mhm.
and it is the middle of the month now, so maybe I got it done, and I've been talking about it and posting about it, so hopefully it's okay. I just haven't gotten the finished yardage to her, which is what she normally requires when you, a picture of the garment in the child that it was supposed to fit, and the yardage is mainly, and any mistakes you find, but I didn't really find any mistakes in the pattern. So.
Fun. I have my Hito Fude that I wrapped up last night. I brought along, where did it go? Now it's going to hide from me. The remaining, I've been cutting it really close lately. Goodness sakes.
I was going to mention that I did get the adult test knit for that pattern as well, so I might be casting on a version for me.
The yarn is so small that it disappeared from the face of the earth. Oh, Max fell down. Sorry, buddy. Did you see him roll down the pillow? It was a Max-a-lanche again.
Max-a-lanche.
It's okay, buddy. Just come sit down. I literally, and I like to, my daughter says literally a lot. Oh, here it is. You found it, Max. Thank you. This is how much yarn I have left. So if I unfurl this little ball right here. I ran out on my bind off, and I had to steal from my cast on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I Judy Magic cast on, so I had like 10 stitches left, and I had to steal from my cast on and get it going. This is 2 skeins of Viburnum MCN in the Kaleidoscope colorway. I did the modification on the lace, and again, I always have a story, but to make the V's meet up, because the way the pattern is written, the increases make them farther apart, and the decrease and yarn over lines don't meet. Well, I didn't want to do this modification to make them meet. It adds more rows, right? Because it has to cover more to meet up, more stitches to meet up, because you're increasing. And I didn't want to increase that quickly because I wanted this to be really long. This is longer than my other one. I can put it on and show, but I had things to say that I needed to point out. So it's, if I stand up.
So what was the yardage supposedly?
My yardage was 800 yards. So 2 skeins of fingering weight. And, oop, sorry, buddy. Max is like, dude, you're making me fall down again. I didn't want to increase really rapidly because I like the way that it just kind of skims over on the side, that it isn't really, I think it's my vitamin D that really goes across, that I'm like, it just weighs it down and it's heavy. So I didn't do it all the way, the modified stitch pattern all the way across. I did it as the pattern was written to do the increases on the side. Well then, because this takes up more rows, they weren't meeting up. This one and this one weren't
Right.
anymore. And so my husband was my litmus test. I was kind of like, or not litmus, more like those ink blots, the Rorschach, or the whatever test. I was like, look right here. What do you see? Well, it looks like you missed a couple there where there's one on this side and there's more on this side that don't match up with it. And I was like, if even a non-knitter sees that, then it's going to look weird to a knitter for sure. So I dropped back, and this is, I get like a little badge on my knitter merit badge vest. I dropped down 80 rows and got rid of all of the little leggies that matched up on this side and just did stockinette up. So I did 5 stitches down 80 rows and worked it up on twice.
Twice, yeah.
So on this side as well. I don't know. I was kind of proud of myself. I was going to take a picture, and it worked best for me to like have it on my leg like this. So I had all of the strings, and then I just I took another needle and worked it up one row at a time, just kind of worked it up. And I do see it when I look at it, and I'm sure you see it when you look at it as well, that stockinette section in between, and how these legs go like this, and that this one's got one more that goes. But that's how the original pattern looks.
Yeah.
When it has increasing stockinette in between it. And so I'm okay with it. I think if I had it to do all over again, and if I were to knit another Hitofude, which is definitely a possibility because I really do like the way it looks and fits, I would just do this modified stitch pattern, but do it like every 5 rows or something all the way across. So then it wouldn't increase as rapidly. I didn't think of that at the time when I was like, how am I going to do this? So that is my FO. I'm super duper happy with it. The pattern loves the variegation. Yeah. I don't think that the variegation takes away from it at all. And Lisa did a really good job on the variegation as well, because it's not really stark contrast, right? It just kind of goes in between these lovely tones, and it's so soft. And it washed up really nicely. With anything that has cashmere in it, I kind of, again, I know you guys have seen me, but I bless it like 17 times and go, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. And it was washed up fine. Sometimes they don't. This one was fine. And that is my FO.
Cool.
Yes. Cool. What you working on? You're working on some linen over there too, aren't you?
Yes. So I am on the home stretch of this linen. I have 3 of the tank top straps. I'm working on the last one, and then I will seam them, and I will have a tank top. And then I'll probably crochet the edge, because that's one of the options. And then it'll be done.
And what's the yarn, and what's the pattern?
The yarn is the Zoe.
That's right.
And it is a cotton and linen.
What's the percentages?
I don't have the tag.
Oh, okay. I was just curious because I'm knitting a cotton and linen as well.
Oh, no, don't have that.
Okay.
And this is the Sommer top. I was trying to see if it had the thing about the yarn, but I only have the last half of the pattern, not the whole pattern.
Is that a pretty steep V-neck on it?
Yes. It's not going to be too bad, but yeah, I'd assume it's going to be down here.
So similar to what you've currently got.
Yep. Similar. Well, maybe an inch up. Not going to be too bad. But again, I haven't really done too much. I've just been trusting. I'm like, okay, hopefully this works. Yeah. So it's becoming my busting because I want to get it done, and I'm still spinning my yarns, and so I'm trying really hard to get it all done. I worked a lot on the girls' top, and then I've done a lot of pattern searching, like what am I gonna do next? and whatnot. So my other thing that I balled up and I haven't started yet is this is my daughter's literally over the top.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, this is in some Knit Circus sparkle yarn. I should probably find the tag before I talk about it again, but
very pretty.
Blue, and it's sparkly, and hopefully it is a daughter's dream. It's very Elsa, right?
Oh yes,
It's very Elsa.
Very Elsa.
So that will be cool. And
I'm excited to see it.
Oh, that's right. And I also worked a bunch on pattern that I'm writing. So call that secret knitting, test knitting. Not ready to talk about it or reveal anything about it yet. Although I pulled some Tempted silk and merino out of my stash. Nice. And it's working up so pretty.
That was what is it a lace? That's
No,
what my Nianin is out of. It's
Okay.
Tempted merino and silk.
It's not a lace weight.
Okay.
It's a fingering, but it's not thin. It's a little bit on the thicker side, so it's working up really pretty. I'm enjoying it.
Fun. And that's all for work in progress.
I know.
I ripped out my ethereal tank. In addition to, I kind of gone like, if it doesn't fit me, it will fit, insert people here that I know their bust size and I know that they're knit worthy and they're knitters and they would love it. I put it on waste yarn and it was literally twice around me, so like 60 some inches around on one lace weight.
How many stitches did it have you casting on?
I don't remember. I think Ploverbird went out in our forums and said she had issues with it as well. I don't know how you get gauge. Like in my mind, I'm like, well, you could go a bigger yarn, but then the bigger yarn's going to have a bigger gauge as well. So I think you either modify the heck out of it or you knit it on like quadruple zeros. I mean, and then it's not ethereal anymore, right? Then it's like a
Steel,
thick, a thick fabric. Anyway, gauge issues on that. So, I didn't think that I could find anybody to give it to at that circumference, and I would probably run out of yarn.
So there were how many people knit it?
There's 5.
5. Okay.
It's free. It's a knitty pattern. So
that might be
why? Yes.
And because I was like, oh, you could try to find somebody who like modified it plus like somebody who said I tried to knit the small frog because it's 60 inches or
yeah. I want to take the stitch pattern and do something with it because that was what I really loved about it. And I'm able to do the gauge math and I would be able to knit it if I wanted to.
Right.
At that point, I was just kind of like, well, I knit almost up to the armpit on it, right? And just, it's in timeout now. And I don't think that the yarn was a good match. It just was a series of unfortunate events. So it got frogged. I also, on the 30 minutes and $1 bill trip, took my socks and they got a couple more rows, but when you're biking, you don't do a lot. I mean, it was basically while we were sitting and the kids were still eating, and then we played at a couple of playgrounds. So almost ready for a heel. The stitch pattern is just some texture, and I might, after the heel turn, just knit stocking it for a little while. It'll be kind of a hodgepodge of a sock. Really like the base. It feels very beefy compared to the other yarns that I've been working with. Like beefier than this MCN was and beefier than what I'm currently working on. Which kind of segues into purchases, but it's also a work in progress. So I got some Knit Picks Lindy chain. I got the yellow that I wanted so very badly. This is the honey colorway. And Lindy chain is 70% linen, 30% Pima. So unlike, and it's fingering. So unlike Cotton, which is a DK and is primarily cotton with a little bit of linen in it, this is primarily linen with some cotton in it. And I really like the hand of it. I really like how it's knitting. Well, it's probably going to be pretty similar to what you're knitting. I'm interested to see how much it's going to bloom when it gets washed, and that could have been accomplished by swatching and washing. It said swatch. But I got this blush in the hopes of making a larger, literally over the top. So this is my third. We could possibly have, if I get it done in time for my mom to have it and take it home. She's coming this weekend because my husband's doing that bike ride across Iowa. If I get it done in time for her to take it with her, then it will, we might be able to do a three-generation pick. Yeah. Yeah, I really like the stitch definition. That's the part that is like, oh wow, that is so much better than that merino. Not that the merino isn't pretty, but I mean, you can just really see the lace without any blocking on it. It's kind of like, was it the yarn harlot that was telling us that with cotton and yarns that have a little less give, the tensioning is what makes your hands hurt when you work with them? Not because they're rough on your hands, but because you have to work so much harder to tension. That's what gives you the hand stress. And I've noticed it a little bit, but I just cast this on, so it's not like I've been crazy knitting on it for too long. I have been monogamous a lot lately, though. Like, I've been digging it. I'm back into my, like, let's get this one project done mode. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this new base works up, washes up, and hopefully another successful literally over the top in the range of sizes above my known. So, and that's gone out to the test knitters. And away we go. Yes. I have it in my pixie knit bag.
Oh, I have that too.
It's pink and it's got monkeys and kitties. Matchy. I've got the pink zipper. Oh, and I got the blue. Do you have, what is that? Yep. I can't remember what that pattern name is called. Argyle? Words. Words tonight. They are a failure. Something I said earlier made me think. Oh, I was going to say I did, because my husband is going on a trip, hit him up and ask him whether or not I can go to Stitches, and he said that I could. So I'm making plans to head to Stitches Midwest here in August. I can't remember the dates off the top of my head. I want to knit a Halo for Hope. They do that. Angel Mom 3 does that, and they have a booth there for that, so I need to get on knitting a Halo for Hope.
Cool.
Yes.
I have no plans to go. If I do, it would be very last minute. Probably waving at them and saying, "Stop! Let me on!" as they peel out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't buy anything. I ordered things and they are on their way, but I didn't buy anything yet.
This was definitely I'd like to try it, and I think it would go well with this design that I'm currently working on purchase. Other things like gift cards that nice people named Sarah gave me. That yarn was just like, oh, I'm knitting fingering weight sweaters. I should buy a fingering weight sweater quantity.
I'm saving mine because I think that there's a sweater I want to knit, and I need to make sure that that is what I want before I pull the trigger.
Yeah. Oh, the one that I did actually spend was from Mary, not from Sarah. But
oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it was burning a hole in my pocket, and I purchased some Loopy U. So that will be here next week to show off. But we don't need to talk about future enabling.
No. No, there'll be plenty.
Yes. So go check this out. It's a nice price point for the I think for the 5 that it will take to knit this. It was going to be in the 30s. Mm-hmm. 25 shipped, or 25 plus shipping. So it's a nice summer yarn if you're interested, and if you're enabled. They've got some pretty colors currently. I don't know if those sell out quickly or what their inventory levels are, but I really do love this yellow. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but
okay.
Love it. I think it would, if I'm going to be like enabling stacked on enabling, I think this would make a really nice heater.
Yeah.
Nice lightweight summer garment, short sleeve. Show off the lace because it's got good stitch definition.
I think after this one, I am done with the cotton / linen / hemp / summer yarn.
You're going to go into preparing for the cooler months mode?
Yeah, I think so. Just going for the fluffier hand. But again, I do have some empathy and the perfect pattern, or what I think is the perfect pattern. Everybody's made it out of merino so far, and I'm like, seriously, that needs to be a empathy. And I don't know why you all are making it out of wool.
What pattern is it, or do you know?
It's at the top of my queue, and I don't remember the name, but it's got a lot of lace, and it's very boxy, and it has like a little sleeve on the box. But when I look at it, I think summer top.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that, I don't look at it and go winter top. I think summer top. So I want to try to make it in a summer yarn, but and I have the yarn. Enough yarn in my stash right this moment to cast it on, but I'm like, no, I have the gamut sweater that I really want to get moving on, that I haven't touched in a while because I was working on this, and then I do want to start the adult sunspot. Yeah, I hope to get that going. And I should send out the pictures. It's blocking right now, so
hopefully you get a sunny day to take a picture.
Yes, I know. And yeah, snag the neighbor girl, or my daughter will model it for one picture, but I need to get the older kid in it too.
Yep.
So we'll see.
That's all I got.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Ufta.